single Pisces. Let's get into a reading. So I've done started this reading. I done have a card or two out. And I'm going to sum up what I was talking about before I had to stop the camera because my mower's here. So what I was saying is that you've really learned from the past. And I also said that in your past, you could have had a lot of things taking place where you had people who were not kind. They could have been enemies. They could have been people that were very clever. They could have been people who were kind of malicious. And some of you could have had to purge you being scared of releasing people who were not good for you simply because you wanted them. Simply because you wanted them to be good for you. Let's see what that has to do with you. Yeah, and before I had said that it could have even been like soulmates or people that you felt very connected to. Some of you could have recognized that something that you seen as a wish fulfillment was not long lasting. It could have been fulfilling in the moment. It could have been fulfilling for 10 weeks, 10 months, or 10 years. But I do see that you eventually had to close a door because you learned from it. You learned what worked best for you, what didn't. And I'm seeing you moving on and going towards things that are a lot more equal. Things that actually align with you. Okay, so let's look into this. Let's see. I see you learning from your past. I see you making new memories. I see you getting over some sort of fear of not getting something that you want in a relationship, fear of being abandoned. Now, if you have a fear of being abandoned, you will tend to go above and beyond to try to make a relationship work because you want that person to see your value. Not everybody's going to see your value. Not everybody that you love and care about is going to feel the same way for you. And if you are really scared of being abandoned, you might go above and beyond to prove to that person that you're lovable, you're worthy, when you've been lovable, you've been worthy all along. Maybe you just got into a chaser aspect where it was like, but let me show you. Let me show you. Do car dealers go chasing you down the road? Let me show you. Let me give you this. No, they don't. Because they know that if what they have is valuable, you will come and find it. That's what I'm saying here. And I feel like for a lot of you, you could have gotten the mindset of what I have is valuable. If someone wants it, they can come and get it. They can come find it. I feel like for a lot of you, Spirit wants you to enjoy your life and for you to find yourself before your forever person comes in. And I feel like it's crucial for that to take place so your relationship can work in the future. So let's see. What's your current focus? Current focus. Taking action, remaining strong, completing cycles. Okay, so your current focus is taking necessary action, being in your masculine energy and closing cycles and transforming, getting yourself one step closer to what you say you want, what you say you deserve. A lot of you could be recognizing, if you don't recognize it now, you will be in the near future, that you have the whole world in your hands. I'm hearing the saying from Halloween Town, all you have to do is want and let yourself have it. So if you've ever seen the movie Halloween Town, it's about witches, and one of the witches, the grandma, tells her granddaughter, well, in order to fly, all you have to do is allow yourself to have it. You want it, now give it to yourself. That could be what some of you are doing, is taking the action to say, oh, I want it, and I'm going after it. Okay. What was your recent lesson around love? No longer being unsure, making a decision and sticking with it. Some of you could have a problem with kind of gaslighting yourself. Now, let me clarify. When I say that you could have a problem with gaslighting yourself, I mean along the energy of, well, maybe this is in my best interest. Maybe I should be patient. Well, maybe I've been patient enough. Well, but love is patient, love is kind. Okay, but haven't I been too kind? That's kind of what I'm getting. There's two sides of you, two coins of you. And that could be one of the lessons that you've learned, is it's okay for you to reminisce. It's okay for you to want to make memories, but you also have to get out of a place of being unsure if something should be done or being unsure if it's what's best for you. Here's an example. If this is past people or exes or situations like friends, family dynamics, jobs, things that you're leaving behind and closing, if you're in an indecisive energy, you're more willing to deal with things that you shouldn't deal with. If you're in an indecisive energy, that's going to keep you from really giving to the things that you want to give to, because you're also giving to the things that are just depleting you. The indecisive energy could also be you taking people's behavior at face value and not believing from your perspective that someone's going to show up in a way that you would show up. Yeah. Recent lesson around love. Being discontent. There is someone in your life or someone that was in your life that had the tendency to always be dissatisfied. Always dissatisfied. They could be an illusionist. They could be a fantasist. They could be the kind of person where they're okay with missing an opportunity, because if they have to speak truth or speak clarity to have an opportunity, they would rather not. Some of you needed to, in your past, see someone's behavior as what it was. Not what you wanted it to be, not what you hoped it would be. So if someone is okay with missing an opportunity, if someone is okay with being discontent in their life, being dissatisfied, and they're okay with that, that's the kind of life that they want to live. You learned in your past that you can't then be in an energy of, but I'm unsure. Maybe one day they'll make a change. Maybe one day that no. It doesn't matter if one day they decide to do it. Right now, their behavior is showing you that they don't want to be honest. They don't want to be truthful. They don't want a new beginning. And that they might be okay with where they're at. They might be okay with something kind of being out of reach, but then being able to fantasize about what it could be, what it should be, what it might be. Because when that tower falls, that tower's going to crumble their life, not yours. Yeah, this could be someone who's really stingy. I see that you had to heal around this person and this dynamic. I definitely see that you had to heal. I was asking, why did this not work? Because it would have taken strength and courage. This person was going to have to be strong and determined for this to work, and they chose not to be. Okay, that's okay. What is your current blockage when it comes to love? Do you have a current blockage? The current blockage could be completely closing a door and locking it. There could be inner conflict. There could be differences that you're trying to... So here's the thing. Some of you need to let something go. I don't mean it mean. I don't mean it to hurt your feelings. I'm saying it because you need to hear it. Some of you, you've got to quit thinking that you can change someone's mind. You've got to quit thinking that you can be such different people, but that it's okay because we can make it work. If your values do not align, if morally you're not the same person, if what works for you doesn't work for them, at some point we're mixing apples and oranges, and I don't know what you think you're going to get. There is something here where one of your blockages might be that you want to stick it out when you shouldn't. You want to get through differences when these are differences you can't get through. Here's an example. The example could be something as simple as, I want to get married, they don't. I want children, they don't. Okay, well, some things people are not willing to compromise on. And when it comes to, marriage, children, where you want to live, some things are non-negotiables. And if you're willing to lie to yourself and go, well, maybe they'll change their mind. Right now they don't want kids, but maybe in the future they will. You are going to put yourself in a predicament where you're being patient for a reality that might not be possible, might not ever come. And I am saying that could be a blockage for you, is not cutting your losses when you should, not being willing to complete a cycle when it's time, fighting for something when you shouldn't. Some of you, this could be like a hostile home, and you not being able to see a way that it could get better. Yeah. Oh my God. And if you're also, okay, and I'm also saying this, if in your mind you feel that something would be fair, something would be right. Here's an example. I'm saying that one of you, some of you, a few of you could feel that it's not fair. It's not fair that the person you want doesn't want you. It's not fair that something happened and you never got an apology. It's not fair that you met the person you think is your forever at the wrong time. In your mind, something's not fair. And what they're saying is that you need to see it is fair. You need to see that you put in the time, you put in the energy, you put in the effort, it didn't flourish. You could be addicted to the fact that you were left out, rejected, abandoned, something didn't work. But you also need to recognize that this is your moment to let something go and recognize that just because you would be bummed over a missed opportunity, just because it would eat at your soul and eat you away if you let someone get away, they might not feel the same. Again, here's an example. I follow a girl on TikTok. I think her name's Caitlin, if I'm not mistaken. And her dad had a falling out. And long story short, she realized through a conversation with him that what she felt she deserved, she would never get because he didn't feel the same. And what do I mean by that? Well, she had always wanted a close relationship with her father. She felt that he, missed out on a lot and that he kind of owed her an apology, that he needed to step it up in her life and give more. Well, he had then made a comment as she was thinking this, that he would be okay if he died today because he did everything right. And in his mind, he did everything right and he wouldn't change anything. And that was like a punch in the gut to her, because the whole time she was sitting here thinking, if I was a parent, I couldn't do this to my kid. I wouldn't be able to do all the things that you do. I would feel so much shame. I would feel so much grief. But in that moment, she realized we might be apples from the same tree, but we fall very far from one another. The things that would eat at me, the things that would kill me, the things that would take me down are not the same things that bothered him. And some of you, that's one of the lessons you had to learn with a past lover or something in your life that has affected your love life, whether it's a family dynamic, a lover. You've had to learn that sometimes when you're conflicted, when you're like, but I don't understand, these are differences we can fix. Just because you think you can fix the differences doesn't mean someone else feels that way. Okay? And that's what I'm saying. A lot of you have got to get past but I deserve, but I should get. Nobody said you didn't. Nobody said you shouldn't. But also recognize that just because you feel you deserve an apology, just because you feel you deserve that person that you love so much but they didn't see you the same, just because you feel a certain type of way, does not mean that it is necessarily going to be your reality. And being able to let that go and say, okay, there is someone here who constantly shows up from a place of they're okay with what they're doing. They're okay. They don't want to make changes. They don't want to grow. They don't want to evolve. They don't want to do it differently. And I have to be okay with that. And I have to heal the sides of me to recognize that I've got to let this go. Now, again, for some of you, this is a family member. A family member where maybe there's been some kind of tumultuous relationship and it's really affected your love life. Because maybe you're attracting people just like that person, whether it's your mom, your dad, your first boyfriend, girlfriend that broke your heart and you never got over it, whatever that looks like, okay? So what I'm saying is that you've learned from the past. I'm saying that the relationship you dealt with was very unconventional, but I'm also saying that you got clarity and you recognize that this person was not showing you their hand and it was for a reason. It was because they were being strategic. Okay, now how do you get through this current blockage? You fill up your cup, Ace of Water, show yourself a lot of self-love, can turn your back on someone or something you would have given everything to, and recognize that that's no longer your burden to carry. So for a lot of you, the way that you're going to get through this blockage is to recognize that you didn't miss out on anything. It isn't to be mean, it isn't to be vicious, it's just at the end of the day, what you wish for and what you hope for, you're going to get. But if you're unsure and if you're indecisive, if someone that's in your life is that person, see that as a no. Here's an example. If you call a restaurant and you want to know what time they're opening and you think on this day they're closed, you call 5-6 times. Different times, they never answer. You're going to what? You're going to assume that they're not open. Now, that restaurant just might be lazy and not want to answer the phone. They might be discontent and be like, I don't like serving, so I ain't answering the phone. We lucky I'm dealing with the people coming in the room. That could be this person's energy. But then you have to go, okay, but I'm still really hungry, and although I wanted to go eat at that restaurant, obviously that restaurant's closed, or they won't answer the door, the phone, whatever, for a reason. It is what it is. I'm going to go somewhere else to eat. Not a big deal. Leave it up to this person to have regrets if that's going to happen. They want you to turn your back on this. They want you to get to a place where you're giving to the things that are fulfilling you emotionally. They want you to really zone in, hone in on what kind of partner you want to be and how that person shows up. They want you to really get balanced. They also want you to do some sort of soul searching about what giving and receiving looks like, what effort and dedication looks like. So again, this could be that ex that you were with, and the whole time you were married for the 5, 10, 15 years, you kept telling them, you know, we can't keep going this way. They could have been okay with it. They could have been like, I don't get, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's fine. We're comfortable with one another. We don't really have to put in the work. I don't know why you're nagging. You could have then taken action and recognized, you know what? I don't just want a partner. I want someone who has my back. I want someone who understands me. I want someone that makes me feel safe. And some of you could need to turn your back on someone and say, and this ain't it. I want new emotional experiences. You're showing me that what we have is enough for you, but maybe it's not enough for me. I'm asking you to go to therapy. You don't want to go. I'm asking you to do all these things. You don't want to go. So what I'm going to do is turn my back and go, okay, you're okay with what this is. That's fine, but I'm not, which means we need to find something different. In that time, in that moment, you're going to start doing self-reflection on what you want and what would be best for you, okay? And I see a lot of learning for you in this moment. And that's going to be another way you get through the blockages, is really being raw and honest with yourself, giving yourself a message of truth or a message of bad news. Hey, message of truth. Not everybody shows up the way you do. Message of bad news. You might love someone with all your heart, but that doesn't mean that they love you with all their heart. Message of bad news. You might love someone with all your heart and show up in a way where you're vulnerable and you're kind and you're understanding, but that doesn't mean that the other person will do that. Some people only know how to love so deep. Some people have very shallow love. Some people are simply indulgers. And when it's good, when it's awesome, when it's fun, they're in love. When shit gets hard, they're out. This could be someone who doesn't put in the work. This could be someone who is a liar, a cheater, a thief. And when they get burdened, they tend to kind of abort mission or abandon what they're dedicated to. And that could be the reason why Spirit wants you to dip out. You're going to hear noises. Just give him a minute. So whoever it is that you're leaving behind, that person has fear of intimacy. I see that you and that person were soulmates, but I'm also seeing that that person either sabotaged or had fear and ego issues and could have been very frustrated in this relationship because they lacked confidence. So then they could have taken that out on you. I do see again that this person has a fear of intimacy and strong ego energy, so they could run. I'm definitely seeing that that relationship's over. So let's get a little bit more on how you're feeling when it comes to love. So what are your thoughts when it comes to love? So you're starting to get a better view when it comes to love. Some of you could be getting a lot of clarity and truth on what love is. Okay, now for each of you, what love is going to be different. I know some of you who will comment down below and go, well, love is patient when you shouldn't be patient. Love is kind when you don't want to be kind. Love is, you get to decide what that looks like. A lot of you, though, going through that type of relationship, the failed relationship, so to speak, has really helped you recognize what you want, what you feel, and what you expect. And I feel like it's also aligning you to that. So here's an example. You can sit here all day and say, I never want to eat animal meat again. I want to be vegan. Or you can sit here all day and say, I'm going to buy a home. But sometimes things have to take place for you to get clarity and truth so you can actually have success and victory and get there. So when I was younger, I had become vegetarian for a few months, actually. I think it was about 4 to 6 months. I was 15, come outside, lived in North Carolina at the time. They had a pig picking. I didn't know what that meant. Oh, I did know what it meant when I went outside. They had a whole pig on the grill. When I tell you the trauma that I felt in that moment, I'm not kidding. It was traumatic. But in that moment, it gave me truth and clarity on that's what you eat. That's where that comes from. You have the ability to avoid it, to ignore it. But when it's laying in front of you on the grill, whole pig as whole pig can be, you're going to really see with your own eyes what you're eating. And if you're a little like me, it'll kind of mess with you mentally. That gave me some sort of clarity and helped me successfully become a vegetarian for, I'm not kidding, about 4 to 6 months. That's what I'm saying here. What took place with this person in the past? You growing and transforming and saying, you know what? I don't want a second chance with you. I don't want you in my life. I want this to be over because you're okay with how you act. You're okay with where things are at. You're okay with half butting your life or saying that you love someone and not showing up in that way. You're okay with that, but I'm not okay with having that kind of partner. And that gave you truth and clarity on what you needed to do differently so you could get different in your life. Okay? That's what I'm saying. They're showing me 2 partners that live together, and one partner's like the go-getter. They're taking the kids to soccer and basketball and cheerleading, and they're taking care of the home, and they're taking care of the animals, and they're wanting to travel, and they're doing all these things. But then the other partner is just sitting on the couch. That can be very defeating. That can also show you where you guys are not necessarily aligned. And if you're not careful, showing up that differently in your life can make you lose respect for your partner because you can feel like, whoa, I've got goals over here. I'm achieving, I'm thriving, I'm bobbing, and you're keeping the couch warm. You're going to be the reason we have to buy a couch in 6 months because you never get off of it. That could have bothered you, but that could be that discontentment. That could be that, but I'm satisfied. I'm okay with sitting on the couch for the next 30 years and not really having anything to show for it except the shows that I've watched. They might be okay with it. You're not okay with it. That's what I'm saying here. And I'm saying that relationship, again, not only has it really, really, really helped you, it's really helping you understand what you want, what you don't. And it's also pushing you to a place of, and I'm not tolerating anything that I don't want. If I've said before, I don't want this, maybe with this person, I would have been understanding. I would have been caring. I would have been empathic. I would have given them sympathy, but now at this point, I'm over it. I'm done. All right. So who's interested in you? There could be someone who is healing, but who is also burdened in their life that could be interested in you. Now, if you're in a season of healing, resting, or reflecting, you could be burdened by the thought of someone wanting to be with you. So if you're tired, if you're depleted, if you're at a place of, but Danielle, I just let someone go and I'm not ready for something, that's okay. Because I'm saying right now that some of you might not have anyone interested in you. You could be so tired and so overwhelmed and just in a place of, Danielle, I don't want to date. I don't got time to date. I don't have the mental capacity to date. I just want to come home and I want to put on my favorite show on the TV and I want to not exist in this world for the night. That's what I want to do. That could be what some of you are doing. And they're saying, listen, that's okay because you're near the end of a cycle. You're getting over something. You're about to drop all of those burdens, all of that really heavy energy. And maybe this time of spending time by yourself at home, cozying yourself up on the couch, making the best spaghetti you could and eating and watching your favorite show. All of that is healing you little by little. Now, for some of you, the person that's interested in you could be going through a moment of healing, could be going through a moment of taking some time out, spending time by themselves, and could be feeling overwhelmed. That could be for some of you, okay? Yeah, for some of you, that's what it is. For some of you, one of the people that's interested in you is someone who's learning lessons, making final decisions, but could also be going through a season of healing. So you could be meeting someone new here coming up that recently got through something, separated, went through a financial burden, and is recovering from it. The shadow side is an energy of, I've learned a lesson. That could also be an energy of, something come back to haunt me. So this person could have been dating someone or married to someone where they were understanding, they were caring, they were loving, and maybe they were so caring and loving that they were overlooking red flags that ended up making the relationship crumble. In this moment, they could be going through the crumbling. They could be having things kind of come back and them learning lessons the hard way and closing doors on things that maybe at one point they didn't want to close the door on. They could be going through the next 4 weeks, 4 months, maybe 4 years, resting and healing. I feel it won't be 4 years. I feel, that's really loud. I feel that this person's going to take about 4 days to 4 weeks to really rest, recoup, emotionally recover, evaluate what they've learned, evaluate where they're going. So a lot of you, you've got someone new in your life or in your energetic atmosphere who's regrouping. They're regrouping so they can dial in on what they're going after now. Right now, they're out in the sun. They're taking a little nappy nap. They're recognizing, okay, I did some things I might not be proud of. I did some things that didn't pay off. I'm not ashamed that I did it, but I did it anyways. Let me recover. Let me recover. So someone could be in a moment of recovery, okay? How do they feel for you if they've met you? They feel like you're some sort of soulmate. So this could be someone who feels like they've known you in a past life. This is going to be someone who's going to want a new beginning with you. There's something familiar about you and the connection with you. They feel like they've known you. I heard you're easy to talk to and you understand me. So this could be someone who feels like you're easy to talk to. This could be someone who feels, you understand me. You understand that it takes time to get over things. You understand that sometimes you're so depleted that when you get home from work, you want to put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Don't talk to me. I no longer exist in this world for the rest of the night. Does any of y'all do that? I'm so bad for that. That's the energy I'm getting here. Give me a little bit more on this new beginning. Yes, emotional fulfillment. But your intuition is either going to... So here's the thing. I feel like Pisces, usually your intuition would scream at you, oh my God. This is them. This is the one. There's something special about this person. But I feel like when you meet this person, their energy is going to be so low and kind of like depleted that you're not going to really be attached or invested in a way that maybe you would have in your past. So let's say this is a friend. Let's say this is someone you go to the Dollar General and they're your favorite worker there. I don't know, fill in the blank. Your intuition could be saying, oh, this is nice. Like, I feel like this is like my brother from another mother. I feel like every time I go into the Dollar General, my life lights up because I love this worker. This is my favorite person. I love seeing them. I love talking to them. That could be how both of you feel. But your intuition might not be screaming at you, oh my God, this is your happily ever after. There's something subtle about it. Okay, something subtle. That's what I'm getting. I'm not saying that you're not attracted to them. I'm not saying that you're not crazy about them. I feel like there's something subtle, something soft. It's reminding me of a mama's love, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if you have a mom who is sweet and soft and compassionate and loving, you will know that when you come up to your mom and you go, Mom, I hurt my boo-boo. I hurt my leg. They'll be talking to someone, they'll go, oh, come here, baby. And they'll hold you and just rub your face. There's soothing, there's softness, There's a sense of empathy that doesn't even have to be spoke about. But maybe your intuition isn't telling you, oh, when I go over to mom, she's going to hold me and she's going to pat me and your intuition might not tell you all of the sweet, subtle things that might take place, but you know that there's something safe. You know that there's something inviting. That's what I'm seeing here. So whoever this is, it's going to feel familiar. It's going to feel kind of like a long lost friend, like someone who understands you, that you see eye to eye with, that gets it. That's what I want to say. It's like this person gets it. That's what I want to say. That's how you're going to feel. But your intuition when you first meet them is not going to be like sending alerts like, woo, woo, this is your lover, woo, woo. It's not going to happen like that. I feel like it's going to be a very subtle, hey, we should do this. You know, I really, really enjoy being around you. I have so much fun when I'm with you. Yeah, you make me happy. You really bring a lot of value in. That's how I think this is going to start unfolding. I feel like both of you are going to feel that way, but it's not going to be infatuation, like passion, chemistry, lust. It's going to be a softness. It's going to be a safeness. That's what I'm seeing in this relationship. Now, how do they view you as a person? They view you as someone who's confident, independent, abundant, but they also view you as someone who's a little mysterious. So they could view you in your element of Pisces. So they could be like, that's someone you don't really know about. You know them, but you don't know them. And when you think you know them, you don't know them. You'll never know them, but you know them. That's kind of you. They could feel that you're very mysterious. They could feel that there's something about you that's very like inviting. Some of you, they like your body. Okay? I'm just going to say it. I don't know what it is, but somebody could really like your body. Even if you got like a dad bod, you would be shocked at the amount of women who are obsessed with dad bods. And they're probably going to put it in the comment down below. Somebody could be obsessed with your body. Somebody could just be really into how you show up in your life. They view you as someone who's in their masculine energy. They view you as an action taker, a move maker, a room shaker. They view you as a guiding force or a guiding light. They also view you as someone who could give them a lot of clarity and truth in a kind and soft way. Again, that mothering energy. I'm not going to say that you're going to become like this person's parent. Male or female, don't know, don't care. That's not what I'm saying. I feel like your energy is just very soft, soothing, inviting, compassionate, understanding. I mean, let's be honest. Unless you grew up in a toxic home, or unless you grew up in a home that was broken, or maybe you didn't have a mom, you didn't have a dad, if you had both parents, 9 times out of 10, you were more likely to go to your mom than your dad if something bad happened. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, daddy wasn't going to be nice about it. Mama might try to like hide it, soothe it, take the bullet for you. That's kind of the dynamic I'm getting here. You're along the energy of, I've got you. I'm going to help you. You're not feeling too great today? I've got you. You feel overwhelmed? What's going on? Let's talk about it. That's how this person views you. But they could view you as someone who's in their masculine energy and someone who could be waiting for things to pay off in their life. This person could also feel like this collaboration, this friendship, or this dynamic come out of nowhere, and that there's something very balanced, and healing about your dynamic. Okay, so what does that make me think of? I follow a girl on TikTok and Instagram. I'm pretty sure her name's Caitlin. I don't know why I keep saying TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I follow a girl on Instagram. Her name's Caitlin. Not too long ago, her boyfriend, Francesco, passed away. If you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. You can put it down below. But anyways, long story short, she really went through a season of like getting to know herself. So much so that she now has a guy best friend who was Francesco's best friend at the time. Her boyfriend who passed away from cancer. It was his best friend. That man has become her best friend. He is her rock. He is her ride or die. When she is in situations and she feels uncomfortable, he's able to pick up on it and you can tell. Not only do they have insane chemistry, but the bond that those two have. The safeness that I know those two feel with one another because she knows he's got her back. He's always going to be there, and she feels the same for him. There's just a sense of security in that relationship. That's what I'm getting here. So some of you could be having some sort of dynamic like that taking place in your life, where it's a dynamic where it's like, I didn't expect this. I didn't expect that this person would be my safe place. I didn't expect that this would be the person to help heal me, help bring out a side of me that's balanced, help me evaluate what I'm doing, where I'm going, what's not working, and what will work. But I'm really thankful that I have you, because you really are showing up in a way that's helping me grow and transform. And that is a soulmate relationship. Soulmate relationships help you grow and evolve. They're not easy, but you will connect with your soulmate on such a deep level that there will be things you would say that you would never do that you will do with this person. Here's an example. I know some people who will say, well, I would never take a shower with my soulmate. I would never go into the bathroom when they're using the bathroom with my soulmate. That's nasty. Okay, well, when you're head over heels in love with someone and the intimacy is so deep that you know no matter what you do, what you say, how you look, that they will still love you, that will put you into a place where you will do things you never thought you were going to do in front of someone, because you feel loved for who you are. Not who you think you should be, not who they want you to be, but for who you are. And that will bring you together in a bond that is so deep that a lot of people can't break that, because a lot of people don't see those sides of you. That's what I'm saying here. So for a lot of you, there is going to be a very deep, deep, deep bond that's about to take place, or that's taking place. And I feel like it's going to be your next relationship. And I feel like it's something you've been patient for. I feel like it's something where you've been putting in effort and time and dedication. You've been consistent in what you want and where you're going. And I see a lot of happiness. I see a stable foundation. I see a loving home. I see a fulfilled home. That's what I see. And I see someone being very open with their emotions. Someone who's very vulnerable and emotionally available. They might have a hard time expressing their emotions sometimes, but that doesn't keep them from expressing them, okay? That doesn't keep them from expressing them. And it's someone you've manifested. I just heard, but damn, I've had a time finding you. So maybe that's how you're going to feel once you finally find them. Okay, leaving it here. Have a blessed day.